I just need to make sure that you can hear me properly.
Yeah.
That's still working.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay, go.
Welcome back to another Elements Dev Talk. Today is Tuesday, the 11th of November, and I'm here with Ben, and we're going to go over some things in Elements. Probably we're going to focus on custom components. We were going to do questions, but I think the questions I can probably, the ones we've had posted on the forum, we can probably just answer those. They're not, they're quite specific to people, and I don't think they'll be too interesting. There is one we're going to focus on, which is the one about custom components and properties. That's been asked on the forum a fair bit.
Exactly. I've seen quite a few times recently. There's a lot of talk going on about properties and building your own components and stuff, or your own component packs. But the easiest way for us to show it is to do a custom component straight in Elements, I think.
Yeah. So we'll go through that. But before we start that, Benjamin, how are you?
I'm good. Tash Life is taking over. As you know, we're doing Movember. If you're watching the video of this, we are looking rather dashing, if we do say so ourselves.
Yeah. Now I've also had my hair cut. It's not too different. You may notice.
It's not.
I always go to the same barbers in town.
Yeah.
And I went in with my mustache on, growing, and I was like,
that makes it sound like you had a disguise on, like you just put it on to get your haircut.
I went in and I said, "Oh, I want, I'd like a side parting because I want to," kind of leaning into the mustache and the old-fashioned look.
Yeah, you went in and you said, I want a 1950s vibe, didn't you?
Yeah, because now I didn't realize this, that there are, with the side parting, you can go really modern and have it really short at the side, like,
Yeah.
or you can kind of grow it out a bit and make it more traditional, and that's what we're going for. He said, give it a couple of cuts and we'll be able to.
Wait, so this is what you're thinking of going forward. This isn't just for Movember now. You're going to grow this side parting out.
Well,
yeah, he is. He's loving it.
I actually don't know.
What are you going to do about the tash? I feel like you're just going to keep the tash now. I really feel like you've grown into the moustache. You're loving it.
I am quite enjoying it for the novelty factor. Yes, I don't know long term if I'll keep it. It's really weird. Every time I look in the mirror, I still find it a bit weird. Like, I don't
really like recording this and seeing myself.
I think you're looking quite good with it as well.
Like, I'm not sure about it. The wife says I've got to get rid of it once this is over. She's not keen. She's not keen.
Yeah, I don't. Because people look at you funny, or it comes up. People have to talk about it when I see people. And we were having a dinner the other day, and we're talking about it. And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm doing it for Movember." And I said, "Oh, I've like grown the moustache and I've shaved like everywhere down below that, and that's what I'm going for."
Have you all the way?
All the way. It was literally down there.
Lips below.
Yeah. I thought that was what Movember was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. Yeah.
So
exactly right.
fully leaning into it.
You are. You've gone full hog.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Well, I've seen a few other people. There's one of the dads at football's also doing it. So I got a funny look from him as well. He's like, "Wait a minute. I thought I was the only one."
It's so weird. It's like, I think it's when people are pregnant, you always notice, like when Lorraine was pregnant, you always notice other people that are pregnant, and it's like, oh, everyone's pregnant. And now I've got a moustache. I'm like looking around, and when I see people with a moustache, it's like
you give them a little nod and a little tip of the hat.
Yeah. So
yeah, so that's kind of taking over our lives, isn't it? But apart from that,
Are you,
everything's good.
before we move on, are you going to just shave yours off at the end of November, like December the 1st?
No, I haven't decided.
Oh, ooh,
I'm not sure. I'm thinking I might let the rest of it grow a little bit, but still keep the moustache a bit longer than the rest of the beard. I'll see how it goes.
with the denim you've got going on there, I think it would be good if
The
you went,
handlebars,
mm,
just
yeah,
handlebars or a full goatee.
try it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This has opened up a whole new world of
Mm,
beard
yeah,
design.
yeah.
So we'll see where this takes us.
Yeah, yeah. So, but we should probably get on with some elements things because I'm sure people didn't tune in for facial hair talk and web design. I mean, maybe if you're into both of those things, what a podcast this is, or what a what,
if
what
you're if you're into elements and moustaches, then this is the pod for you. Yeah, we've got some
incredible.
cracking content coming up in the next few weeks. Yeah, no, they've probably had enough of this. Shall we get on and do
Yeah.
some elementsy stuff? Shall I share my screen and see if this works?
Yes.
Right, I'm going to do it. I don't know if we did this. Yeah, you shared your screen last week. Right, I'm going to share my screen, see what happens here.
Perfect.
I'm going to hop straight into elements, I think.
Okay. So
That's it.
the plan is we're going to show you how to build a custom component and how to link some properties to it.
Yes.
That's the general gist.
Yeah. So I'm going to start in elements. I'm going to create a new custom component. So you click the plus button here. And I think what a lot of people do is just use the standard HTML one. This is kind of just a basic straight up component. So if I do that and add it, you'll see that we just get this, and we can open up the editor down here. But there's no controls over this side for this one. So you just get a standard template, and there's nothing in the hooks file or anything else. So if you are wanting to do properties, you might want to use the properties example here. So when you add that one, this is going to add a fair bit more boilerplate stuff, but it might be helpful for you. You'll see you'll get loads of stuff. Oh no, that's the wrong one, isn't it? I want to use UI controls. Sorry. I've already
That's all right.
made a mistake, Dan.
While we're messing this up, you because we're noobs at this, you've also got the panel showing on your screen, I think, for the video.
Oh, down here.
Yeah,
Is
can you
this
minimize that? I don't.
there we go. Is that gone now?
Yeah, that's gone.
We are. All right.
Nice.
Good. Right. 2 mistakes so far. Lovely.
We are professionals.
Yeah, sorry. You want to use the UI controls. That will give you a little example of a control group over here, and a slider, and a resource. And you can get to those. You open up the little editor here, go to the properties in the sidebar, and you can see you've got these two properties in a group. So rather than editing or creating a component from scratch, what I thought I'd do is copy a little product card. That's going to open up that little tab every time I go away from the...
Can you just, if you close that, is
I'm
that going to
worried.
close?
Yeah. I'm just going to see every time I do that, it goes back. I'm going to see
Press the
what
close
happens.
button.
Yeah, there. Is that my still... can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, you're still there.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Hopefully
Right.
this is not going to happen next week.
Yes, we're complete noobs here. Right.
Yeah.
But rather than designing something like this from scratch, there's this taildrops.com site where he's got a paid for product, but he also has some free like code examples for Tailwind. So if you view the code here, you'll see you get all the Tailwind stuff. So what I'm going to do is just copy this code and use it as a basis for our template in here. So when I paste this in, you'll see we get an exact replica of that card down here. Now I'm going
And
to
this
adjust
is
my...
pretty nifty. And this just works because that is using Tailwind code. If you're not familiar, you should be, if you're using Elements, you should be familiar that under the hood, we're using the Tailwind CSS framework.
Yes.
So when you go and copy CSS, Tailwind CSS from the web, it kind of just works in Elements.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you can see these are all just Tailwind class names, and they all work, as Dan says, because we've got Tailwind under the hood. So everything is, this just works. And if you wanted to like edit any of the text in here to begin with, you would just like find the text here and you can say something. So you can see that live updating there. We're going to have a look at like making this more live editable in the editor later. But what I want to do is look at how we can add like colors and images and stuff and hook it up to your custom component. Now, one thing before we do go any further, you can change the name of this custom component by double clicking here and it'll update it here. So if we just say custom card, you'll see that gets updated. And then when it's in the tree view, you'll get that name there as well. So you know that this is your custom thing. Good little tip there, because I know some people would get like 4 HTML components and they don't know what's what. Okay, properties. We already have an image resource. So that is this control here. So let me just indent this a bit better so we can see what's going on. You can see here you get a title property. So the property should actually be called ID. We need to update that. You can use either property or ID. ID is the officially supported one. And that ID is what you'll use in your template. So if I'm going to use one of these images here. I'm just going to drop in this image from the resource pack. And to use this image instead of these headphones, we need to go to our template. We need to remember that we've called this image resource.
Yeah, I often
And
copy that.
yeah,
Just copy the little the ID.
yeah. And then in the source here, you'll see it's a hard-coded Unsplash URL. So rather than that, all we need is 2 open curly braces, paste in the thing, and instantly you've got that image in there. So as soon as you drop in a different image, you'll see it instantly gets updated. So that is literally all you need to do to get an image in there. Now, there are a lot of other things that you can do with this. You can resize them through the hooks files and stuff like that. We might look at the docs in a bit to show you how to do that, but you don't need to do that.
Just off, can we change that aspect ratio on that?
We can. So it's hard-coded down here. So we can just use, if we want to use like a custom, you can open up square brackets and an aspect ratio of 1 will just make it square. But if we wanted it 2 by 1, we can make it kind of landscapey.
I think that's better because I wanted to see the whole thing on screen, especially for this demo. That's nice. But that's just using Tailwind again.
Yes, this is all of this is Tailwind classes. So if you know Tailwind, you're going to really benefit from doing custom components like this because you're going to just know what classes you can use and what you can do. So yeah, you can just write any Tailwind class in there. That's basically getting an image resource into your template. Did that all make sense, Dan? Am I talking?
Yeah, I think it did, but I know I obviously know how to do it. But if you understand a bit of HTML, then you shouldn't be afraid of doing this stuff and diving in and creating your own custom components and looking at customizing them. So yeah, let's just continue, and we can post this along with the video. We can post this project.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't going to do this, but I've just seen there's already a slider set up here, so you can slide this number along. And I just thought I'm going to hook it up to this review count here. So I'm just going to call this review count, and you'll see that getting automatically updated here. And the property, I'm just going to call it review count, like so. I'm going to copy that. That's the ID. And in the template.
Now you're changing that from property to ID because we used to call them property this is kind of that's when Elements was kind of in alpha, beta, and
Yeah.
they were called properties, but we've since updated it, and really you should be calling them ID. So that's why you've changed those.
Yeah. So yeah, you could use either at the moment, but you should be using ID. But you can see here, as soon as I put in the template syntax of 2 curly brackets and then the ID of the property, that instantly gets hooked up here. So you can see that we can slide this along and say how many reviews there were, and everything just live updates. So every control that you add in here, you can very easily get the property for it in your template just by outputting the ID.
It would be nice to add in some text fields for the pricing, maybe.
On here, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's find the price. I think it was above all of these. There it is. Okay, so the moment is hard coded, like $1.99, $2.99. If we want to just make this editable, we can use an at property, and we just say at text. We need to give it a title or an ID, sorry. We'll call this price, and you can set a default, and we can say $2.99 or $2.99, like so. And we probably want a $sign in front of that. So this, just by doing this, at text, set the ID, and this optional default. So this will be whatever, this will be the default when you drop a new custom card onto the page. But what that does is allow you to just double click into here, and you can set this to whatever you want. You can type in anything in here. This makes it just live editable text. Simple as that. So we can do the same for the discounted price. So we'll do an at text. We'll call this one discount, and we'll set the default to what was it, $3.99, like so. And that now makes this one editable as well. Although, why isn't that? I think we've got.
You have to click out of the component. There's a little bug there, and then it's editable. Mm-hmm.
Now we're editable. So used to be $9.99. Okay. Good. Right. That's editable text. You could do the same for this headline up here and the text here if you wanted to. Yeah, it's as, again, simple as that. Just use at text. Make sure you set a unique ID here and then optional default. That's all you need to do to make this stuff live editable.
Mm-hmm. Or you could add a text field in the component card, like for details.
We definitely could. And to do that, I will duplicate this. Let's just call this, let's call this like tag, and I'll make this one. So we'll call this tag text. Now, what we want is the type of control is not a resource, it's just text. So you'll see that gets updated here. One other key thing to note is that all properties by default are responsive. So Elements will automatically prefix the value of this control across the devices. So you'll get SM : MD : and that's really handy when you want to set things like colors and borders and spacing and stuff. It'll automatically do all the device prefixing. But when you've got something more static like text, you want to turn the responsive dot off. So to do that, all you do is set responsive to false, like so, and you'll see that then disappears. That means you can't override this control across the devices now. Yes, okay, right. So when I type something into here, I don't know, let's call this headphones, it was to begin with. We want to get the value of this and replace something there. So again, I've called this tag text. We'll go to our template and we will find this text here, and we will simply do that. And now we get the value for this control live updating in here. So type in whatever you want, and you'll see it automatically gets updated. Nice. Okay, the other one I wanted to do was the colors. So we've had a few questions recently about like, how do you use the color control? What do I need to do? And there is a couple of gotchas on the color control, because you'll likely want to use the format on there. So let's call this primary, or like, I don't know, let's just call it color. And we'll call this color. Whoops. Responsive, we don't need to set that. What we do need to use is a theme color. So these color ones are kind of a bit more special because they are hooked up to the theme studio properties in here. So we have a whole host of properties or controls, sorry, that will give you access to the values in the theme studio. So theme colors, font families, sizing, everything you can see down here. There are controls that will give you the values for these. So you see I've got all of these colors set up here in my theme, and those are available here. So we can just choose one and it'll update. Now, what we're going to need to do is hook the value of this color into our theme. So what I'm going to do just before I actually make it work is I'm going to show you what the output of this is. So if we can find, here's the button. So this is the add to cart. Now I'm just going to output the value of the color just so that you can see what we get. We get orange -500. So that is the underlying color and the selected value on the scale. So when I go down here, we'll see we get 50, and it goes all the way up to 950. Now, because the colors are used for so many different things like text colors, background colors, border colors, anything that you can set a color on, we need to format this control for that particular scenario. So to
Because
do that,
if you just put that as the button color, it's not going to work, is it? Because you need
no, exactly, because what happens is that it doesn't. Elements will give you that color back, but the Tailwind classes need to know: is this the text color? Is it the background color? Is it the border color? Like, what color is this? So in this case, we want to set like the background color of this button. So we want to format it with the Tailwind prefix of BG, and then we need to use the value for this control. So you'll now see that this sets BG orange 500. If it was text, we would say text, and you'll see that get updated there. A little pro tip here that I don't think a lot of people know that you can do. You can actually set two different colors for this at the same time. I'm not sure when you would want to do this, but it is possible. You can actually set text and the background color in the same control. And Elements is smart enough to prefix both of these class names responsively. So it will prefix both the text and the BG across all the devices, and this will just work automatically. I don't know if you knew that little tip, Dan.
I didn't. I mean, could you add could you add arbitrary values in there and things? Could you make that?
Yeah, you can any valid Tailwind class. So if you, for example, had some sort of CSS variable that you wanted to set, you could do that in here. If you had some custom class that you wanted to get the value of this control for, you could do that in here.
I suppose I was thinking of setting the background and the text color, and then having the text color lighter. But I don't know why you'd want to put that on the same.
Yeah, no, you can't modify it. Well, I mean,
You'd want to do that in a different way. It's fine. I
yeah.
was getting off track.
But yeah, in this one, we obviously want to set the background color of this button. So we've now got the correct Tailwind class name. If we go back to the template, and I need to find, there it is, add to cart. So rather than putting that in there, what we need to do is now find the color classes on this button and replace that. So you'll see they've got like the standard color, and they've also got a hover color here. And I'll show you how to do the hover in a minute. But I'm going to remove both of those, and I'm then going to output, whoops, already had that copied. I'm going to output the color here. So you might not have noticed the difference, but if I go and change the color here, you'll see that is now live updating to the user selectable color. So again, the setup for this, I think, is very easy. Once you know what you're doing and you know that there's controls available for all these things, you can very easily take a design and hook in like customized colors and whatnot via the controls. Okay, what we want to do is probably set a hover color as well. So again, we're just going to take a theme color. I'm going to call this cover color hover. And now all we need to do is set a prefix of hover. So this is again a Tailwind thing. They have all of like the different states. You can prefix it. You can say focus if you wanted to set the focus color. We just want to do the hover. And again, we want to set the background color here. So you'll see we've already got a control come up. Now we get the hover color. So all we need to do is set this ID onto our button. So I'm going to have to find my button again. Where am I? And there we are. And all we need to do is set the color hover. And you'll see that that then gets the hover color here. So just change that. You'll see it goes to purple. If we just wanted to use a darker color of the same palette, you can do that like so. This one annoyingly doesn't have any color transition, so that just changes instantly. If you want to change or make it like a smooth transition, you can just set a transition, and in this case we can just say colors, and you'll see that that smoothly changes the color. You can set the duration. We can say like 500, so that's half a second, and then that takes a lot longer. I'll change these colors so it's a bit more obvious. There you can see that that's smoothly fading in and out. Nice. That's basically colors. There are other things that you can do, like set a default. So you can do a default color. I think it's name. You can say brand, and I believe it's brightness. And we can say like 700. So if I drop a new one of these on, you'll see that that gets the brand color by default, and it's gone to the 700, like so. We haven't got an image added there, but we can just drop one in and it will just work. So you can see you get the controls for these aren't linked to each other. So you can have unique instances of each one. So you can type in.
And that's one of the reasons why you would add the properties in rather than because if you're just using some copy and pasted HTML and you customize the HTML to get it looking how you want, every time you drop that in, it's the same instance of it, and any changes you make would change to all the copies across your entire site. Whereas this way of adding these properties, then it becomes a reusable component that you can change the properties on each one, and they're yeah, it's really, really powerful.
Yeah, and I think like there's been a lot of discussion around like reusing the properties that we ship on some of the standard components. So we've got all of these groups, and I get like people want these things like on their own components, and I think if in some cases it can make sense if you're building some more sort of lower level components like we have with this core pack. This core pack was kind of designed so that you compose these together and you make something like this.
Because you could actually make, with the core components, you could make that card exactly as you've got there. Like literally
Yes.
with these core components, you could make that if you knew what you were doing. But that's quite a high, if you're a novice web builder, you're just starting out, it would be quite hard for you to make this card out of the core components if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why I think there's a lot of value in people shipping these specific components like this that are really tailored to that, and they don't need all of the same options we have.
No, exactly, because what the core components give you is complete flexibility to build up anything like this. But if you're building a component for someone else, or you want to put it on the marketplace later when that's available, this just having a very concise set of controls for the things you want customizable is a lot easier for some end users to use, because it's like, oh, okay, I've just got two colors that I need to change, and there's one image drop well, and it's one component. I just click here, my settings are there. Whereas if you build this up with like a flex in a flex with an image and then some text, more text, buttons, flexes, like you can build up all of this SVGs in here. You end up like in the sidebar, you end up with like a flex in a flex with things like nested inside of each other. Whereas, with this one, it's just one item in the tree. There's one component, and there's a very concise set of controls that make it really easy to use. I think shipping things like this on the marketplace is going to be really popular, because a lot of the time, like, you don't need all of the controls that the core components give you. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out anyway.
Yes, and if you, for example, if you wanted to ship this, but because there's a small step from going to a custom component to making it a dev pack, because when you make a custom component, they are just in the project. So they wouldn't be available in any of your other projects. They're kind of siloed into that project. If you wanted to make them available in all your projects, then you would create a dev component.
Yeah.
So, which we have videos on how to do that. It's quite a simple step that you can do. Maybe that's too much to get into here.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably say go and have a look at the other documentation for that. Whoops. I want to go here. But you can set it up in here. So you can create a dev pack in here, and then you can like add components, but you need to do it kind of away from Elements.
Have you got the docs there? If you go to the docs site,
Yes.
and the API reference, and then the getting started. Oh no, the quick start there at the top. So this will show you how to install a dev pack and how to create your own. We walk through on those, showing how you could turn what Ben's done into a dev pack so that it was available in all your projects. And once you've got it in a dev pack, then you would be able to ship it on the store, which we are launching very, very soon.
We are. That's very exciting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So was I going to cover anything else for this? Well, I guess I could very quickly show how you can add a drop zone, because I think that is also a good way to make your component very customizable.
Yeah,
so like
probably.
in here, like rather than these stars are like hard coded, because we ship so many core components. If I just find where they are, this is the other thing with this is the flex for the SVG. So you can see there's a load of SVGs in here. So what I could do is just delete this. That will get rid of those. And then what we could allow is someone just to drop in a component into here. And the way you do that is you just say at drop zone. And again, you just give it an ID. So this would be like reviews, something like that. And you'll see you get this little drop zone in here. It says content here by default, but you can give it a custom title. So we could just call this reviews. And you'll see that gets updated there. And then what they had previously here was a flex. And then inside of there, they had SVGs. And then what I want is a star. So I'm going to put this one into here. And then I'm just going to size this very quick. So I'm just running through this quick because I don't think everyone needs to see this. But you'll see in here, I need to do a new instance of that to get the tree to update. But what you can do is, if I show the title so I know what I've got selected, we've got an SVG. We can duplicate that 5 times. And then if I go up to the flex, we can change the setting to row. We can put a little bit of gap in between those if we wanted to. And then you'll see very quickly, we've now got a fully customizable little drop zone where you can design your own stars. So if you like, this last one was supposed to be like half a star, you can do it like so. And then if we want to just color all of those, we can select them all, set the fill. Let's use this orange, like so. And now we've basically got back to what the original design was. But you've got a lot more flexibility here, because obviously I've dropped in core components or any other components that later ship on the marketplace. Maybe someone will do like a star review component, I don't know. But you could just drop that in there.
Yeah, that'd be nifty. Someone should do that, a little star review component, and you could boop, 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 move with a little slider, move the stars up and down. That's a perfect little component for the store, I'd say, something like that.
Yeah, because I'm like, again, you can build this up with the flex, and you can just copy that into here, and you'll see here the tree gets updated. So in the drop zone for this custom card, I've got a flex and all the SVGs. But if you did like a custom component, you could just drop the star reviews into here, and it will just work. But again, just to illustrate, just so everyone's aware, this is a unique instance of the card. So if I change the color of this to be like the same as this blue, you'll see they get updated independently. So you can style each card as you wish.
So, but what you could do, so I've done this and I'm thinking, yeah, but I don't want to drop in the custom card every time and then have to copy in the stars.
Oh, you're thinking if I turn this into a global?
Well, or if you, yes, yeah, you could convert to a global and then make it a template.
Yeah, so if I do that, and then what I want to do is
On the, yeah.
we want to override the reviews drop zone and then make that a project template, right?
Yes, yeah, and then, yeah.
When I drop this template in, I can override the color of these. It's probably easier if I select them. Oh no, I've messed that up.
Dragged them out.
I'm going to turn off the title so we can actually see those, and then select those, change the fill color, put it to accent like so. I need to override. I need to unlink that. Yeah, so those are linked, aren't they? So I should have unlinked that color.
Yeah, which is fine, but this gives you, by making it a global as well, it gives you a way to reuse the card and have that drop zone content in there and keep it the same. You just need to remember to override.
Yeah,
there you
so
go.
you click that button there, which is break the link from the global, and that will let you change just this one. But if we put another custom card in there, you'll see these two have the purple, and this one is overridden. So yeah, there's a lot of power in here, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's pretty complex, but it offers the options to. It just gives you those options to be able to do whatever you want, and I think it might be a bit. Sometimes it can be a bit like hard to get your head around how these things work, but
Yeah,
it's really powerful.
yeah, definitely. That's probably it. What I would say is go and have a look at the especially the properties for what we've done. There are things like I said, like default values. You can set default values across different breakpoints.
Yeah, and where would people find the at text things like that in the API? There's a section in here for because I think those are often the easiest ways to get into custom components is just by
Yeah.
putting an at drop zone or an at text. That's
Yeah. So if you have a look at first, you go to docs.realmac software, go on the API reference, and then there's the properties and the elements language, and that will give you, all the info for things like drop zone and text and rich text. And then Portal is also a good one to learn because you can place code in different areas of the page. So if you've got like a JavaScript library you want to put into the head, you can use a portal and say like head end, and it will pop it at the end of the head of the document.
Yeah, which was important the other day. I was doing that PHP page lock component, and I needed the page start because you need some PHP that gets rendered first above everything.
Yeah.
So in that component, I just had to use the portal page start. So yeah, I get. Suppose we've tried to think of everything with this stuff to allow you to
Yeah.
build whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of features in there, and I think all of these give you almost all the tools. There's probably a couple of corner cases where we haven't quite covered yet, but
Yeah.
the elements language and the templating, everything is very, very powerful. You can do a lot of stuff.
And I
So
think
how
a
I
lot of
would
it got
really
added.
go on.
A lot of it got added because we were building our own components. We needed to build um, all the core components we have, and a lot of this developed out of us realizing, oh, you need this, and we can't do this. And what's the nicest way we could implement these things? So this language really grew from making all those core components and getting elements to where it is today. We have kind of covered 99% of what people need, I think, or developers need to build components.
Yeah. I mean that's the other thing. Previously, I think people were thinking that we were using some sort of internal API to build our components, but
Mm-hmm.
there is absolutely nothing special going on in any of these components. They don't have any special privileges. Everything that we're doing in all of the components we ship, you could do in your own either dev
Yeah,
pack or custom components. So everything's available to everyone. Um, so yeah, you really just need to have a look at the docs, ask questions on the forums, and get cracking.
yeah, yeah. And we are, if you get stuck doing this stuff, to do just post a question on the forum, and we can help you out. And especially if you post your project, that's always the most helpful. If you use Elements Cloud, which is like that is such a kind of not a hidden feature, but it's absolutely killer. It's like, oh, I'm having problems with my project. No problem. Just send it to Elements Cloud and you can give us a link. We can open it, have a look, fix it, publish it back. It
Yeah,
makes that whole fixing projects so easy rather than trying to find somewhere to upload it or send it via email. I think that was one of the best things we did early on is getting Elements Cloud in there. And
yeah, yeah. The
so if you
project
do get
sharing
stuck,
stuff.
post on the forum and along with your project, and we can just take a quick look and help you out.
Yeah, good stuff. What do you reckon? Was that good? Good enough, Dan? Good enough demo? What we're saying?
Well, I guess we'll find out. I think it's a nice if you've been using Elements for a while and you're doing custom components, then you probably know all that stuff. But if you're just getting into Elements or you've not really dabbled in custom components, I think it would be a great video to watch to kind of get to grips with it.
Yeah, what I would say is find some of those free Tailwind libraries because they'll give
Mm,
you so many little components for your site, and then just sprinkle in the little bits that you want to customize. So
yeah.
just start off easy, just customize the text, for example, and then keep going. And you can have a look at all the UI controls for whatever colors, borders, and stuff. And hopefully you can just sort of step towards making it a really nice customizable component for yourself.
Yeah, and when I've done a bit of that, and when I use them, what I quite like is I'll add the stuff that the like essentials that I need right now, and as things change over time, like I can add more controls to it. Like that card example, we just changed the background image or the image in the header and the text and things. But over time, you might think, well, actually, my site's kind of changing the design of it, and I want to change the border radius of the card, and then you could go back and add in controls for that, or just manually change it. But it's really flexible once you start building your own little custom components. It's quite nice. It's yeah.
Maybe we'll later at some point we'll do another little demo, and we'll show off how to do some Alpine stuff or use the hooks file, because the hooks file is also really powerful. I think a few people on the forums are starting to realize like what you can do in the hooks. Is essentially, it is just a JavaScript file, so you've got access to anything in JavaScript. So you can manipulate data, you can pass data through to your templates. You can do a lot of stuff in there to make your component really powerful. So we could have a look at that at some point.
Yeah, and that is quite an advanced feature. You definitely don't need, if you're just getting into custom components, you definitely don't need to touch the hooks file. But like Ben said, yeah, it is, you essentially pass values to it from the little UI you make. You pass values into the hooks file, then you can do something to them, change them, validate them, and then pass that on to the template.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can have like an input. Like if you had a slider, you could get it to take the value of the slider, times it by 10, and then pass it into the template. Very rudimentary, but you can do stuff like that. So yeah, that's super powerful as well. But like we've shown today, you don't need to use that. The control data gets pumped into the template automatically for you, so you just get access to it all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, good. All right. Well, I think we should probably wrap it up because we're coming up to 50 minutes. So that's
50 minutes? Have I talked for that long?
yes. I blame it on the moustache talk at the beginning.
Yeah, maybe. Got
And
carried away with that.
probably people are saying, yes, you can cut that out. Just get straight to the useful information.
Yeah, do let us know if you want more Moustache Talk next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's like, do you want that kind of a little bit of chit chat, life updates at the beginning, or do you just want like just give me the information? God damn it!
Yeah.
Which, yeah, yeah. So we're recording these for you guys really to help people learn elements and get to know elements. So we want to make sure they're useful. So do keep the feedback coming.
Yeah. Good stuff. That's it then.
Yeah. Alrighty, okay. Thank you, Ben. Hopefully, we will be back very soon. We're hoping to show off the store
Yeah, very
next.
soon.
Yeah, that is almost ready to launch, and I know we've been saying that for a while, but it really is. Once we get this out, I just think things are going to take off to a whole new level because it's what we've been working on is absolutely crazy good. So I'm really excited to show that all to you soon. So we'll leave you on that cliffhanger. We will be back soon with that.
Yes. See you soon. Bye.
Good. Cheers. Bye.